I'm giving you a script, damn it. You just follow it.
Mm. I don't know. Talking about the script, it seemed like you came in that line like just a little bit too early. Maybe we can do another take.
I'm the puppet king.
What the frick?
I was trying to do my worst Peter Lorre. Where is Audaxius? Because that guy can do voices. I cannot.
I don't know who
He's
Peter
a
Lorre
very
is.
busy man these days.
Or I'd give it a shot.
You don't know who Peter Lorre is? Okay,
Should
youngster. Youngster.
Well, yeah, you're a wee pup.
I'm 44.
Yeah, I mean, you're just on the wrong side of the millennial Gen X border for those sorts of things. I mean, those of us who are raised in front of our television set watching Looney Tunes nonstop.
Oh yeah, because that never happened for me. Sure.
I don't know, but so basically Peter Lorre was this actor who usually played bad guys, and on the Looney Tunes they would kind of make fun of him. These are the ones from like the 30s and 40s, where he was like this little guy with really big eyes and big lips, and he was just kind of this funny looking creepy guy with like this kind of funny voice. Half the characters I just on Looney Tunes I just mentioned, but they would kind of do him up as opposed to Edgar G. Robinson, who's like that. Yeah. That guy was Edgar G. Robinson. So they actually made fun of actual celebrities of the day on those Looney Tunes. It's just I had no idea who the heck these people were when I was 5. So,
Fair enough.
Most of my learning of 20th century American history was from watching Looney Tunes. So, and then asking my dad, who's that person? Who's that person? What are A cards? From the rationing in World War II. Who was Wendell Willkie? When Bugs Bunny was saying, "Well, it ain't Wendell Willkie," and he's like, "Yeah, he's a guy who lost to FDR the first go around."
Well, speaking of Looney Tune,
yeah,
this is I should scroll up 335th episode for the 4th of June, 2026.
33012
Ish.
Ish.
Yes. And this is the Loose Screws Podcast. I probably could have put more vocal fry into that, but I don't have any water nearby.
Well, thankfully you didn't put vocal fry in it.
Anyways, joining me tonight, I should pay attention to what I'm doing and not where I'm flying, is Commander Blooming Wind.
Hi, everybody.
Commander Oblivious.
Mongo is annoyed.
And we've been told Grover may make an appearance, but he's on the other end of the world, so if he shows up, he shows up. We're not holding him to it.
He appeared forward yesterday.
Oh, yeah. In joke. So I thought yesterday was Thursday, and it, like at first thing in the morning was like, hey, I'm in for podcast tonight. And then Trax just stared at me, basically.
But you were well prepared.
Yeah, that just basically sums up how my week's been. So let's go to Blooms. How are you, man? It's been a little bit.
Good. Yeah, it's been a little bit. I'm doing well, thank you. Yeah. Fun week in the Blooming Wind household. My mother-in-law's here visiting us and hanging out till next Wednesday. Dr. Blooming Wind is starting her new job on Monday, which we are very excited about for her.
Yay!
Little Blooming Wind started his internship, and he's learning what it's like to being at the bottom and working at the bottom and learning stuff. So he's kind of like, why can't I just be in charge? I just want to be in charge. I'm like, you have a lot to go before charge, And so he and I have had many heartwarming discussions over coffee in the morning before he leaves for work at 6 a.m.
That's very sweet of him to think he can be in charge.
I know. It's he's just, and he was like, and he asked me he was like, how am I going to afford a house? And I told him how we afforded our first house and how he'll be able to afford a house on what he will be making. And he's like, but it's not like our house. It's like, you got to work your way up. And he's like, and it was like, well, you made a lot of money with your first job. I was like, no, I didn't. I was a resident. And I was like trying to explain to him that, when he graduates, he'll be 22 and entering the workforce. And then for me, I finished medical school at 27, and then I was an attending cardiologist. As some point in my 30s, I finished my residency and fellowship, and even then, I was a researcher who don't make a ton of money until I stopped doing that and moved to clinical medicine. And I was like, dude, I was like 40 before I started making any amount. I'm like, dude, you gotta get there. You gotta. It's not
Just
instant
let him
gratification.
know that his millennial compatriot on the podcast, me, we just bought our first house a year ago.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I will give him that pep talk, and I'm so happy for you about your house. I want pictures. I absolutely want pictures.
Am I. Yeah, I'll send pictures, especially when I start redoing the floors, which
Yes.
still have not started because crap keeps coming up.
Still sitting in the garage. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, are you putting in the floors, or is a professional putting in the floors?
I'm going to install them because we decided we want to use the labor money that we were going to spend to fix like a whole half of the fence that needs fixed.
That's smart. That's really smart.
Because I did one side, and that involved pouring concrete twice, and it about killed me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that again.
You know who else? Poured concrete?
Your son?
This guy.
Oh, yeah, it sucks, doesn't it?
So last week, so I don't know if I ever told you guys about my mailbox getting taken out.
Oh, no.
No, we haven't heard that story.
Oh, okay, yeah. So a few weeks ago, because this is all like May has been just like this absolute crazy month for us. So several weeks ago, like these guys came and they were clearing more debris from the ice storm that we had this past winter.
Yeah.
There's still trees and branches, and anyway, so they've been using the front of my house as a staging ground because it's like the one open flat area on our street where there's no trees, there's no telephone poles, there's nothing really in the way that if you're going to be using a bobcat or a crane or anything like that. And I think we just lost Oblivious.
Yeah, he'll probably be back.
He'll come
Keep
back.
going.
He'll come back. But anyway, so I'm at work and I get this phone call. Welcome back, Oblivious. So I get this phone call from this guy, and he says, your cleaning lady gave me your phone number. I just want to let you know that I'm here clearing debris. And I'm like, there's really no debris on our street. So what's the deal? He's like, I'm here clearing debris that we brought to your street to put on a truck in front of your house. And one of your neighbors asked me to pick up a very large branch, and I took out your mailbox with it. And I was like, oh my gosh. So he's like, I can weld it. I'm like, send me a picture. I'm like, no, you're not welding that. He's like, I'll give you $150 to make the problem go away. I was like, no, I'm going to send you a receipt and you're going to pay me whatever everything costs. Probably should have taken the $150.
Which is fine because it's probably a cheaper way to do it.
Yeah. So, so I had, moving my son out of his dorm room and staying the whole weekend to watch my nephew graduate. I had go to my daughter's graduation. I had go to my nephew's wedding. So that was 3 weekends. And then Dr. and Mrs. Dr. Bloomington went out of town the following weekend, Memorial Day weekend, with my mother-in-law. They met up in Connecticut to visit my father-in-law's grave and see some of her old friends. And then she came to stay with us for a couple of weeks. Because, that's what nice son-in-laws and daughters do. Anyway, so while they were up in Connecticut, my son and I went and bought a mailbox, bought a post, bought an additional shovel, and bought 60 pounds of cement. And we dug out the old mailbox, and we dug in the new mailbox and poured the concrete and made sure everything was level. It's perfectly level in both axes. So I'm very our street is not level. Our street is on a slope in 2 dimensions. And so I have this thing perfectly straight, and you look at it and it looks crooked, and you drop a weight and it's like a weight on a string and it's perfect. And it's a very simple mailbox because we went to 2 different places and we didn't have a lot of good choices. We had all these ass plastic ones, and we had, a very simple black mailbox with a very simple black post, right? And it was nice. It was clean. It was not ornate. It was not stupid looking. It was, and they didn't have anything that was kind of nice other than simple or plastic and cheap. So I get it. And as soon as my wife comes home, she says to my son, "Who picked out that mailbox?" And my son was like, "Your husband, who also installed it and poured the concrete and did all the things." And she was like, "Oh, well done."
Like she's gonna go somewhere and like, oh, never mind, reverse course.
Well, we got a quote from a guy, $1,200.
Oh,
Oh,
frick.
good Lord.
I mean, I'm like, no. I mean, it cost me probably $200, between buying the shovel, buying the cement, buying the mailbox, and buying beer for my son to drink while we were doing it. So, yeah, I mean,
See,
but
gosh.
it was a great father-son bonding thing too. Because like he's going into construction and I'm the least handy human being on the face of this earth. So
Nice.
yeah, so that was my out of game construction project, and yeah, otherwise life's pretty decent. Things are kind of doing their thing. Oh, Mama Blooming went broke her foot.
Oh, for crying
What?
out loud.
Yeah, it's
How'd
a
she
small
do
break.
that?
So first night my mother-in-law was here, we all went out to dinner. There's a little pub near my house that my mom loves that we like to go to. And so each of us had an old person that we were guiding. But my wife and I switched dance partners. And so she's like, because it was because of the sides of the car we were on. So she's like, "You help my mother, I'll help your mother." So she and my mom take this sidewalk path, and then I take her mother who has a walker, around to the ramp to go up the ramp. Now, the sidewalk is next to the ramp. So there's like this little drop off where the ramp comes up the side to the sidewalk. So my mom, who's blind in one eye, didn't see the drop off, rolled her ankle
Oh
and
man.
went down. And so she has like a little chip. So she has a little mini boot for a while, and she's okay. But it was just one of these things where it was just like, ah, crap. I mean, it could have been so much worse. But anyway, that was so. And in game, what have I been doing in game? Well, I've been out in new screw space, and I finished up a bunch of building projects in order to have enough tier points to get started on Brick Memorial Station. And we'll talk about that in the squadron briefing. But we broke ground for Brick Memorial's We broke space last night and began the process of building Brick Memorial Station. So we'll talk about that in the squadron briefing when we get to it. So, Oblivious, your turn.
Okay. Well, let's see. A little worried about Pup. She is now 11 months as of yesterday. Yeah, our morning routine is we go out every morning and put about 5 miles in. I do 5 miles. Typically we're going off leash, so she's doing more than 5 miles running back and forth during that time frame. But that's our morning routine. Works great. She enjoys it and wears her out, and she usually sleep for 4 hours afterwards and be up for more shenanigans later in the day. But several weeks ago, what I noticed is nothing problem while we're out hiking, but when she would get up after that session, she'd come home, fall asleep, and she'd get up. She had a limp, developed a limp on her front right. And so I shut everything down, and we went back to short leash walks and kept her quiet for at least 2 weeks, and then slowly started working her back into things. It looked like it was going pretty good until yesterday. We had our first off leash about 1.5 miles, and she came off the trail limping. So we visited the vet today, talked to them. They felt around, didn't feel anything that looked bad. They had her walk around and tried a bit, and she wasn't limping at all during that time frame. But he also didn't see anything problems with her gait.
Huh.
So
Do
we're
you
going to
think
put her
she
on
might have
her.
been getting too much
Put.
exercise, or?
He didn't suggest that. He's still thinking maybe she tweaked something at some point and it just hasn't healed. So got her on an inflammatory for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to shut her down again. And when I say shut her down, I mean, I'm not locking her up in a crate. I'm just,
No.
Right.
we're just making sure we're not running around or she gets the zoomies. I shut her down from that.
Yeah.
And we'll see how she's doing in 2 weeks. I mean, worst case, next step let's go do some x-rays and see if there's anything skeletal. And if not, I know a surgeon, a vet surgeon that specializes in lameness. And not suggesting we have to do surgery, but he might have some other things to look at. But yeah, a little disturbing. I mean, she's not even a year yet, and it's got a little limp. So worried
Only
about
reason
that.
I bring up the exercise thing is we had a friend that they got a new lab puppy, and the kids were playing with it so much that it literally got sore from playing so much
Mm.
and developed a limp. And so they had to tell their kids, okay, just calm down. And yeah. So that's
Some
the
rest.
first thing that came to mind with me. But
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, Lady Jane, who was Brick's older sister, half sister, she had a little bit of a trick knee. So she, at some point when she was 4 or 5 or whatever, because she loved hopping up on the sofa, hopping down off the sofa, running around like she's on cocaine. I mean, she would go out hunting, like she would go in her backyard, kill baby rabbits, almost catch rabbits, catch birds out of the air. I mean, dog was a freaking psycho. Loved her. And she had this little trick knee, and every so often she'd be limping. And she had, they actually felt on exam some laxity. And so what we ended up doing was, some NSAIDs, rein her in, calm her down. Things would be good for a couple of years. You tweak it again. But, there's your surgeon friend. I mean, if there is going to be an operation, sometimes if it's like a knee thing like that, they can just put a little stitch and tighten it and all that. But then they got to do like puppy rehab and all that fun stuff. So,
yep.
Yeah. Do you got pet
I
insurance?
hope she feels better.
Yeah. Pet insurance is called me.
God bless you. So, yeah, I hope she feels
me and
better
my wife
soon.
do pet insurance through a, what's it called? It's like a air quote subscription thing for our vet instead that saves us like $200 a year on what it would normally cost for their plan.
Or their routine stuff, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so all routine and checkups and stuff are free, and we get 50% off everything else. So
yeah,
we
actually did the pet insurance thing, and it helped us with catastrophes. It was incredible for disasters.
Like losing an eye.
Exactly, like losing an eye. It covered pretty much like 80% of that. Getting your paw bit because you got too close to the golden retriever while he was eating a bone. It pretty much covered that except the last 2 splints. And then they're like, fuck this shit. They're like, that's too many splints, although he was old and slow to heal. But Rocco's seizures, $5,000 bill. We paid $1,000 on the $5,000 bill out of pocket. And that's because he had one more seizure, and we just didn't want him in our house overnight at that point. We just took him, and they boarded him because the emergency room was also the neurologist for him.
Nice.
So, that go Blue Pearl for that one. So pet insurance, in that sense, it's great for the catastrophe. Brick's heart, there's a out of pocket, there's a max because it's a pre-existing condition or it's of the breed. So certain things with certain breeds, it's like, they're not gonna drop the sunken cost of having a Cavalier. They're like, we're not doing that, but if he gets his ass kicked by your golden retriever, we'll take care of you. So, but so for us, it's been a little bit of a boom. We haven't insured the cat though, because the cat's like freaking Iron Man. I mean, he's just like doing it. He's like, I'm fine, so.
Cat looks at you and like, your insurance.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I hope your little pupper's on the mend. And
same.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So
I see in game. Yeah, last night, hadn't done this in a while. It was fun. Trax and Chig. We haven't seen a lot of Chig lately. Chig and who else? I think Indigo was out there. He wasn't on The Voice, but he was out there. We were out at Power CZ.
Nice.
Just floating around, blowing up Archer.
As one does. Yeah.
As one does. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Hadn't done that in a while. And the most fun of it was I got halfway through it and suddenly realized that I've done the whole thing in FA off and didn't even realize I was flying in FA off, which is where I want to be, is realize I'm not flying in FA off.
Breakthrough.
Yeah. Breakthrough.
That's awesome.
Finally. So, Lark, absence of light. What's going on with you?
What? Sorry, whatever you said before that, this brain went blank. Oh shoot. I actually have been playing a little bit of Elite. I was on earlier this week too. I'm out at the Crystal Planets, not sites. Just doing a little light exploring and filling some bins while I'm at it, because I was out of those materials anyways, because I've been engineering every new ship as it comes out. And was originally in my Cobra 5. Now I'm just flying around in my T8 having a ball. It's great out here.
Isn't that a great ship, the T8?
Oh, I love this ship. And been knocking crystalline shards off with a mine from the air first, and then landing and just scooping them all up with my SRV. It's freaking hilarious. It never gets old.
A mine?
A mine. Gets the whole bunch in one go.
I'm wondering if with the T11, with the super limbic collector, if I throw a mine on that. Ooh, challenge accepted.
Yeah, I don't know how well limpets work getting stuff from the ground right now. I know they used to, but I haven't tried it because I like getting out in the SRV and stuff. So your mileage may vary. I'm also vaguely remembering that one of the planets, I believe, isn't crystals, but I'm supposed to collect something from like the little tiny volcano spire
Selenium?
guys. No, I think it's Rutherium, isn't it?
Now all of them have shards except selenium.
Except selenium. Which one am I? Am I even on the right planet? What's happening?
Are you in either the Otoots or the HIP
I'm in HIP
36601?
36601 C1D. So I should be finding ruthenium. I'm just not having any luck right now. Ah, well. Out of game, couple weeks ago, I might have already talked about this, but it has to do with you putting in your mailbox thing reminded me. I had repaired like a 20-foot section of fence, and that involved digging 2 new holes and putting in 2 new posts, concrete and everything. And it was so much work and took so long. And on the other side of the property, there's literally 10 posts that need replaced. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to call someone. I don't care how much it costs. I ain't doing that. But yeah, outside of that, real life's going okay. Just been busy with a whole bunch of bull crap. That's it. It's a busy time of the year, I guess. And so, with it being a busy time of the year, someone give me a Squadron Briefing sound, even if it's with your mouth.
Squadron Briefing.
Good enough.
I'm no Daxi. I am absolutely no Daxi. Alrighty, so I'll do the Squadron Briefing since I've been paying attention. All right, so we are now in 431 systems from 427. So 4 new systems. We are controlling 2 of them. So that good old Trailblazers, people are jumping from system to system and bringing us with them. We have 2 wars and 2 elections that we're mildly interested in. Nothing even worth mentioning. Yep.
They're all under control, right?
Yep. That's how a little. Yeah, they're all under control.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's old Blooming One telling me he's coming. He must be stay up till he comes home. Anyway, there's an expansion pending out of IC 2602 sector XL-I A11-0, which is one of Volt Solet's systems, and that system.
Really?
Yeah, that system is sort of the.
Isn't that his
that is the material engine
factory?
for
Yeah.
that's like basically if you're doing Trailblazers out in new screw space, you could get most of the stuff you need from that system. He has a starport and a planetary base that are loaded with almost everything you could possibly want. And the things you can't get there, you can get from the legendary Commander Ty, founder of the Loose Screws Network, because he actually dipped his toe in Trailblazers and crafted the complementary system to Volt's system. So our oldest and our youngest commanders are the economic engine of new screw space.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, HIP 50828 has a Dodec, and it has an asteroid base. The asteroid base has water. That's all you really need to know is it has water. You can get everything else everywhere else, but you get your water from Nicole's Orbital Arboretum. And Ellen Dracor is the name of Ty's Dodec station. And then Quasar Hub and Go Foundry are the two stations in Volt's now expanding system. Now, I don't know what happens with these expansions. I don't think they go anywhere because the one out of Blooming Wind's Folly went nowhere after 2 cycles. So, but anyway, so yeah, that's an expansion.
I have a quick question for you regarding Trailblazers.
Sure.
Since I happen to be looking at my colony map, let's say I have bought a Dodec. How the frick do I deploy that?
Well, there are 2 ways. One, you can deploy it in a new system as your first station, which I generally do not recommend unless the primary port site that they're offering you is something you want. So if the primary port site is around like a water world or a Earth-like world, or it depends on what you want to do with your Dodec, then you can put it. But if it's like in some ass location, I would not drop the Dodec there. Now, if you want to put it in a system that you're already working on, you have to have enough tier 3 points to be able to deploy it. But then once you deploy it, you have an option to just drop it as opposed to having to build it. So they ask you if you want to use your free one, your freebie. So
all right, okay.
All I heard is you're not supposed to put your Dodec in your ass. I got that. Okay.
Yes. Now that's what the SLSs are for.
Okay, yeah, I don't have enough of those tier 3 points. That's why it's not. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes. So
all right, so I need to get back there and get building. Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's why I dropped it where I dropped it. I took a new system. There's right near Blooming Wind's Folly. It had like 2 Earth-like or 2 water worlds and a bunch of other stuff, and I was like, and a lot of places to build. So I was like, this is going to be perfect. So
yeah, because I've got a Earth-like world with a water world moon and a nice little system, and I want to make it the technology hub of new screw space. That's what I'm working towards.
Yeah, talk to Volt about the planning, but yeah, you if I remember your system right, I don't know how many planets you have that you can actually put stuff on the planet.
Lots.
Oh, good. Yeah, then you're good.
Yeah, I've got some moons out there. There's a ton of them.
Yeah, but you make sure that that you have like you got the strong links and all that other kind of stuff going on. Yeah, it's so because it's tricky. It's tricky like where your places are that you can kind of put your footprints and all that. But there have been a few really beautiful systems out here in New Screw Space or near New Screw Space that before Volt put his setup online. There's like 2 systems where I was getting pretty much everything I needed from, and those guys, Thiel Hub, forget what system it was. All these systems have ass names. So Thiel Hub, and then Broken Skulls Gateway or something like that. Those were
Broken
the
Skulls
two.
Gateway is pretty
Yeah,
epic.
the systems with those two were really they pretty much I could get everything from both of those, and it's a similar setup to what
Noise.
Pi and Volt have created closer to us. So yeah, it's really I really love the Trailblazers. I thought I would, and it was kind of a slow burn to get started, but then the creation aspect of it is really, really fun. And, getting to name everything is an added bonus too.
Yeah, I'm on that
I-
same path. I
Yeah.
just haven't gotten as far along as you have.
yeah, being a Mac guy, I haven't been able to lean into the tools as much as I would like. I may steal my son's laptop, old laptop, and just throw some of the stuff on there and use that little PC for some of these tools. Anyway, so we were like, yeah, we went full squirrel mode. I mean, it's very dangerous to have you and me on this show at the same time, Lark. All right, so we got booms in 7A, Qama, and V2151 Cygni. There's a boom and public holiday that's probably over by the time you're listening to this in NLTT 2969, which is one of our mining strongholds. Platinum, osmium, low temperature diamonds, and a bunch of other stuff is going for stupid amounts of credits. They're busting civil unrest, and that's a Cephei system that is still busted in civil unresting or just not updated. Yeah, there are droughts in Miola and Howard, so bring water. There is an infrastructure failure in BD plus 4389, but tragically, we do not control Vinogradov City like we used to before the armistice with After Dark initiative. So there's no sweet gold washing because we're the ones in infrastructure failure, not them. So that would have been a great gold washing opportunity for us to get Pavlov's hub up to speed. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we had our space breaking at Brick Memorial Station's construction site in IC 2602, sector ZU-Y D103, planet ABC3, ring A, the same metallic ring that is rich in platinum. That is why I colonized this system. We have need of titanium, aluminum, steel, and CMM Composites. Right now, I'm working on all the other stuff because my fleet carrier is full. And then once I've emptied it, I'm going to be moving on to titanium, to aluminum, steel, and CMM Composites. So anyone who wants to help, those are kind of the big bulky things, and we would welcome the help, and you will be immortalized by the game. So,
or at least by us,
or
as
by
long as
you.
we remember.
Yeah. Now, the one thing that I really wish they would do at Trailblazers is change the system names once you've colonized them. I'm sure there's some combination of primary port name and commander name that would result in unique systems. So that, it would be like
procedural generation for it, like they do everything else.
Yeah. So, or even just like, Blooming Wind Alpha, Alpha Blooming Wind, Beta Blooming, I don't know, but it would be really great. So it's not like I'm rattling off this alphabet soup every time I'm talking about a system. So if you're listening, I know you don't listen to me like you do tracks, FDev, but think about it. Just think about it. I know you're listening. Or you might have tuned out because it's me again. So anyway, all right, that's the squadron briefing. Now we got a short PP report. Which one of you guys want to handle the short PP?
It's average size.
Wow. So is this Kruger's
This is
list,
correct.
or is this okay?
This is mine because Kruger didn't editorialize. I got the numbers off of his website.
Okay, his order. Okay.
His numbers, my commentary.
All right.
And
so
it is correct.
Just a reminder to our listeners that the Kruger list is we love the Kruger list and the NICE list because they take into account the efforts to obtain fortified strongholds, whatever, and or to exploit them. So it's not just a total number of systems that you're in. It's a breakdown of of those efforts throughout, and I think it's a much better representation of how the powers line up within the system. So it's been another big week for Ontel, with gaining 6 exploiteds, 1 fortified, and 3 strongholds. Duval comes in second with 9 exploited, including Alpha Centauri, taken from the Archer folks. That's been
They
quite a
actually
fight.
did it.
They did it.
Yeah, they
Oh
did.
my
They
God,
did
that's
do it.
hilarious.
That's been going on for weeks. That's been fun to watch. That's been something else.
I like how
You got it.
every other power appeared at some point in that fight, just because everyone was flying in to be like, "What the heck is going on here?"
You
Yeah,
think that's
but
how
also
that happened?
but also we all overlap. Like there's so
Yeah,
many
right.
strongholds. I mean, Seoul is the crossroads of humanity, and Ashling Duval now has a foothold with their neighbor. See what I did there?
Nice.
So now we watch. Will they hold it, or will Archer try to take it back? We'll see. That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Kane in third. Let's see. Played
Isn't Kane the
Risk like a noob. Oh my
mining
God.
person?
14 exploited, 1 fortified, and 1 stronghold.
Yeah, they're thin. I looked at their map. I looked at their heat map, and they have a lot of places that if somebody were evil and unsavory, that
Just snipe the heck out of them.
they could knock the heck out of them. I mean, it
Yeah.
would be UGLY. You don't have an alibi. You're ugly. That's how bad it would be. So they really need to be fortifying. I mean, the one thing I'll say about my friends in Lee Young Rui at Sirius Gov headquarters, we can slag them all we want, but they are very intentional and very methodical about, acquire, reinforce more, acquire, reinforce more.
All right,
And
pull it
they
back.
do-
You're giving away your discussion section. So pull
True.
that back. All right.
Also, I'm going
And
to impersonate Daxi here real quick. Serious Gov.
Okay. Speaking of your frat brother, he's in fourth with 2 exploited and 4 fortified. Mahone came in fifth, 5 exploited and 3 fortified. Tough week for the Emperor, losing 8 exploited, 2 fortified. But while they were doing that, they created 2 strongholds. Now, will they come back and say, that was all part of the plan? Because that sounds like a story we've heard from another power, which had a rough week. Archer, well, we mentioned what was going off in Alpha Centauri. Actually, I think they were kind of smart. They got through that and realized, there's no way, and maybe they backed off of it. But still, they had lost 7 exploited. They lost 2 fortified. Tough week for them. Well, maybe this Alpha Centauri thing is done. They can focus and get on a positive trajectory for the next cycle.
Yeah.
And there's your average EP report.
Nice. So, I didn't have my mic centered. So, moving on to the community corner, there is an ARC store right now. Words. There is an ARCS store sale. Clipper and T8 paint jobs, I'm going to have to look at that, are currently on sale. In stellar screenshots, Commanders Jacob A., Lena DeFerrell, both had fine shots. There's a link to it in our show notes. And Commander Picard tweeted that he is continuing his 5-year mission into his 11th year. That's 4,015 days in the black. He's mapping out the southern reaches of the galaxy. And my gosh, if no one has followed this guy, what are you even doing? There's a link to it in our show notes. Follow this dude. He's awesome.
He really is.
Also, our friend of the program, Nicey, has done a nice write-up of her thoughts on the Nomad. And there's another link to that in our show notes. Has anyone had a chance to read that? Because I have not.
I've had a chance to read it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Very thoughtful.
Say words.
Yeah, I think the big thing about it is that, it's something that people like me who are reluctant to do on-foot missions, it's going to be a bridge for us because I died plant gunning. Okay, I don't die very often. I died plant gunning. I ran out of air because I couldn't figure it out. Yeah. So having something where I can get in, I can get out, I can breathe again, I can get in, I can get out, I can fly around, I can get from one sample to another sample that's far enough away that I can sample it. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I might actually start plant gunning.
Wait. Okay, you get in your SRV, you drive out, you get out, you do your sample, you came back, you died during that time frame.
I didn't.
Now,
there's
nothing in here that we've seen so far that says you can sample inside the Nomad. Maybe we can, but we don't know that yet.
No,
they haven't said you can. But you may still have to get out of it.
No, I'll get out of it. I'll get back in.
SRV.
Well, why didn't you do that with your SRV?
Because I'm a dumbass. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't know it would count.
You didn't know.
I didn't think it would count.
Okay.
I don't know if I could get out of it and then do plant gunning. I thought you had to get out of your ship on your feet. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I did it once. I was trying to do it for that community goal, and I didn't get my one gun plan. Just said, screw this stuff. It's stupid.
I did like her speculation on there are questions as to, is it just a single seater or is it a multi-seater? I do hope it's a multi-seater. So far in the pixels, you just see the one seat up front, but maybe there's another one behind it. So for settlement rating and so forth, does that play some kind of a role there? I would like to see that.
Speaking of stupid things, I'm happy to report that little, I wouldn't even call it a bug, but fun thing with game physics, where your SRV tires are spinning and you accidentally run into that crystalline cluster, still can throw your SRV way into the air, and I love it so much.
Any mat that you run over that you don't have targeted, it'll yeet you. So will it do that with this in the skis, or better yet, if you land the Nomad on the side of an icy hill, can you go sledding? That'd be kind of fun.
I'd love that. And I love that they're reusing what looks like it's going to be the T11 cockpit.
It really looks like it, or at least a slight modification of it. One of the two.
Yeah, because I love that ship. I absolutely love that ship.
Yeah, a lot of down view.
Yeah, they're pretty good at hiding what the rest of the contents of that ship are as far as seating goes. I'm not optimistic from the one picture. Yeah.
I hope that it has similar ramps to the Highliner, where it opens up on either side and it's just empty in the middle behind the cockpit. And that you just run out like it's one of those freaking drop ships from the Star Wars sequel movie.
Instead of transporting out.
Yeah.
Ship interior. First ship interior is a Nomad.
Vessel interior.
I'll take it happily.
Vessel interior.
Vessel interior. And they just go to that checklist and done.
I like that.
I mean, it's kind of shippy. It flies.
Mostly.
Yeah.
With Mama following it around.
Ballsman style. Now, does it or does it look like it has an SCO thingy on it? Or is it all the ships have that little donut on the top now?
Depending on...
I can't imagine that you'd be super cruising around in it. Maybe you can. That would be really
I'm curious what
or is that your
ship
turret?
Manufacturer is making it.
They haven't said. speculated it's I think it's speculated it's Zargon.
Yeah,
Is
that
it?
little
mean,
dome on the top reminds me of what the medium hard point on the top of the adder looks like. That's why I ask.
Yeah. Speculation is Zargon, but it hasn't been stated. It's like they're keeping it secret
Core
for some
dynamics
reason.
for no
I mean,
reason.
the cockpit looks like it's Lakon.
Yeah.
I mean, this has got like the industrial design of a Lakon more so than the sports car of Zorgon.
Yeah, if Zorgon Peterson did make that, there's someone in their corporate suite yelling at someone else about how the lines aren't smooth enough.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I mean, it kind of is if Zorgon and Lakon had a baby. I mean, it's a little less boxy than your typical Lakon, and it's a little more boxy than your typical. I mean, it's kind of like a new Volvo.
It's a Lakon Peterson.
Yeah, it's a Lakon Peterson. It's a mashup. It's a collab.
It's like the Imperial Eagle, but for SRVs.
Yeah. Yeah, they stole that design.
100%. Doesn't matter anymore, but they stole it.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got?
What else do we have?
Shoot. The
Dev news?
Dev news.
Yeah, we talked about the
right
Nomad.
over
that. We
I
talked about the sale. We covered that. Galnet news. Okay.
Galnet.
Somebody do the Galnet.
Hit it, Oblivious, because I have not paid attention to Galnet all week.
Yeah, you heard me say that too. So
who among us
I
has?
said it first.
Let's see. All right. Let's see. We've had one news report came out on the 1st. This one was new reports on criminal fleet raises questions. This is dealing with rumors of seeing multiple sightings of ships bearing unidentified markings in formation. And security officials reported instances of the malware bearing sigils previously discovered in the Lumans attack, which appeared in otherwise unconnected locations like outposts and surface posts and outlying orbital installations.
Boys, we have a pirate queen that knows how to market herself.
Yeah, those sigils have been reported by system authorities investigating data breaches described as what appears to be twin axis, an animal, and ornate mask across separate incidences. And so, they're saying Myra Burkowski is suggesting that their appearance is linked to the report surrounding the emergence of the pirate figure Lady Z. So she must be throwing some great parties because the attendants are ornate masked axe-wielding furries.
So clearly,
like eyes wide. This is like eyes wide shut.
Eyes wide shut. Yeah, exactly.
The password is Fidelio.
So now, as a result of that, they're speculating that Imogen Lee Ray, the CEO of Frontline Solutions, was going to come up with something to address it within the next few days. And sure enough, within the next few days, like yesterday, Frontline announced the expansion of services. That intends to expand service processes to meet growing demand. Service processes. Yeah.
I think that means how fast they can get you back down on the surface.
That's it.
But
to meet the demands, Frontline Solutions is offering, quote, rapid deployment of mercenary strike teams where they are needed, when they are needed. Sounds pretty operational.
I'm wondering if
service
that
processes, service operation processes. Okay. You're wondering if it's what?
Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. What that hits me as is service processes. What's a process? The process is the thing in between you shooting a guy and being dead, which to me means that is the time it takes to actually get back down onto the surface. So basically your respawn timer. I wonder if that's going to get turned down.
Well, Luray said that Frontline remains at the forefront of transporting combat-ready squads to faction-led military engagements. And to do that, he's negotiated with his shareholders and apparently is gaining the capital to go off and start building those transports in the form of, those 4 landing pad like ship designs that we've seen for operations. And to do that,
or the Vulture's getting replaced with the Cobra Mark V.
No, I don't think so. So to do that, he's asking pilots to start delivering some materials. Now, let me get to where is the CG.
What's the reward? That's the important part.
We'll get there.
Okay, fine.
What do they want to avoid relay external manufacturing construction to ensure pilots are invited to support Frontline Solutions by registering at Pawelczyk Dock in HIP 58421 system before delivering aluminum, semiconductors, and polymers to the local market. Not afterwards. Reward? Paint jobs.
Well,
What ships? What ships are those paint jobs for?
Let's see. Haven't got there yet. There it is. It is for the Type 8. Ooh. You get a convoy chromatic cherry. Ooh. Or for the Panther Clipper Mark II, you get a ZPG Parcel Red. I think that's like probably going to be like the red that's on the Royal Mail mailboxes all around the UK.
Ooh, nice.
And then credits. And you get that for delivering just one lousy unit. You can get that. Now, what is interesting is in here they say it started yesterday and it's going to run for 2 weeks. But if the final target is met earlier than planned, the campaign will end immediately. So that's interesting. They haven't always said when exactly these campaigns are going to end. They get a little gray every once in a while, but they're being pretty definitive on that. And I'm guessing we will have a subsequent, maybe pirate CG coming in behind us to protect everybody that's delivering their one element to get their paint jobs. And by the way, if you only deliver one element instead of tons and tons and tons, then you will give everybody an opportunity to get their paint jobs.
Hear that, tryhards?
So slow it down, tryhards. Let's see, is there already?
Yeah. 47,000 ton guy. We're talking to you, buddy.
God, top 10 commanders.
I mean, you can haul some shit to Blooming Winds Folly, buddy. I mean, come on, get my dog space station built, okay?
Hey, I'm coming out there after my baskets are full.
Oh, I know. But, I mean, I don't have a sticker I could give this guy, I mean, if he joins our squadron and hauls stuff, I can give him a loose screw sticker. But he also has to join our squadron. So,
all right. So
yeah,
there's your...
it's the velocity of this is that it is going to complete in 1 week and 4 days. So right now it's just slightly ahead of the 2-week schedule. So, I mean, pretty much unless you're somewhere out in the Black Picard talking to you, you'll be able to make it back and do this plenty of time. So, I'm going to pop over tonight and drop my 1 ton of aluminum since
get your paint jobs.
Yep. I got aluminum, I got polymers, I got semiconductors. I mean, I got all of it on my fleet carrier right now. So
nice.
I can just grab one and go. But then I'm gonna have to go buy one somewhere else later. So I might just grab one on the way. Either because it's gonna take time at some point. So yeah,
Oh man.
love a good paint job.
That's the
Yeah, I
latest
might do
Galnet.
it just because I like the T8 so much.
And this is a different red paint job than the previous one. So the Blue Man
What, the
Star
chromatic
here.
cherry one?
Yeah, that was the ZPG red paint job, and then this is the
Oh, they had the ZPG for the
partial
Type 8?
red. No, these are for the Panther Clipper.
Yeah,
So there was a
that's the
ZPG red paint job, and now there's a ZPG parcel red.
parcel red. Okay.
So there's two
Wonder what
different
the ZPG
reds. So I'll be interested to see that. If they gave the same one twice in a row, fuck you. Fuck you. But at least we got the Convoy chromatic cherry because I could definitely use a new paint job on one of my two T8s. So, although I do like that
Oh,
industrial
goodness.
yellow. I really like that industrial yellow. I mean, like I didn't paint the one because I'm like, yeah, it looks like a crane.
I'm running the white and blue paint job on my T8. I really like it.
Yeah.
Forget what it's called
Well,
though.
I think I'll probably pass on this, CG.
Okay.
you don't
Well,
like the
I take that
T8?
back. I take that back. No, I think I'll go do some, go see if I can get pulled.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea, actually. I
Do
might
some
that too.
ganker baiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as we know, gankers don't listen to podcasts.
No.
Right.
Oh, goodness. That's all I got, guys. You got anything else?
Well, I mean, there's always the discussion segment. There was something I was kind of thinking about just before the show came on. The idea of the role of role playing in the game.
Oh.
So different people in this game role play from 0 to the nth degree. I mean, some people are folks that are like really nice in real life, and they'll play some sort of like, jerk in the game. There are the people
Evil.
chaotic evil. They're the people who are just like, I'm just going to kill you. I'm just going to go to Deciat and just Seal Club because that makes me happy. And like, it's what my character would do. But then there's people who do some really cool things where like they have a code. I mean, one of my, I call him a ganker friend because he's pulled me a couple of times. He's killed me a couple of times. I've gotten away from him a couple of times, but he has this kind of code of honor where he'll pull you, but like it's only like once per week or once per CG or once until you, I guess, fall off his list of recent people like that's on his screen or something. But I mean, it's cool because he has like a sense of honor. But I think that like each of us in this game in one way, shape, or form have sort of, how we role play, and how we role play is different, and sometimes it gets applied different ways. So, I mean, for example, my role play is, pretty much that it's kind of a joke that like Lee Young Rui's frat brother. So, because it's like, if I'm going to be in we're all forced to be, not forced, but like it's optimal if we're going to do power play that we are in Lee Young Rui, even though like I was thinking, I made a list today of who I like best versus who I like least as far as the powers in our Discord. And, I think all of us, if we had a choice, would do either none of the above, or all you could do is kick people out of your systems. We've talked about that, beat that horse to death. Or delaying, which is completely geographically inconvenient for us. I mean, we're really completely impotent in our space if we care about our space. And you and I, Oblivious, have had those conversations about should we care about our space anymore? So ultimately, like, we could be Lee Young Rui or maybe a couple of others on Tall or something, depending on which systems we like. But because, historically, Lee Young Rui overlapped with our corporate governance, and it was a good fit for Power Play 1.0, here's where we are and here's who we are. So I had kind of created kind of a headcanon of, for me to justify that Lee Young Rui is my frat bro from college. So, so my role plays a little bit of that, a little bit of, the lore for our squadron. I made a flag for Kalarum. When I was first getting started, I was making flags and making fleet carrier symbols for a bunch of our commanders. So, especially since I was on Xbox at the time when everyone else was having fun on PC.
So I make some more for some of the new ones.
I could if I had time, but
yeah, it is the kicker.
Yeah, it's a big time suck, and the time has been sucking me away. No, but I mean, I think for me, the role play is kind of subtle and not so much in a way that affects what I'm doing or even how I'm doing it, but just, creating the lore and the background and how it applies to what I'm doing. So, you guys? Lark, let's start with you.
Oh, goodness. The role play of my character in the game is complicated because before I even joined Loose Screws, I was out in a system called Cygni, because that was a high-tech system, and it was near the system that my dude is from, whose name I can no longer remember. I would have to look it up. I have it written down somewhere. And the freaking after I joined Loose Screws, I moved from those systems, which were actually nearer to Sol, all the way out to Screw Space. And so, like, just my headcanon for that was my dude had just gotten in with a good mercenary group, was gonna start something new, see if he could make something for himself. And now he's just a grizzled veteran that's just looking for cheap thrills that are still honorable for all intents and purposes. Which explains why I fly the Asp Scout and use shot cannons and things like that. And now to Grover.
What? I just got here.
Welcome.
Hello.
Grover is actually appearing on the podcast after this one right now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I thought this was a real podcast. No, I'm wrong.
It will be the real podcast.
We don't have a podcast.
Or it was the real podcast.
Right.
Something like that.
Yesterday.
Yes. How's tomorrow, Grover?
Oh, it's Friday. Can you believe it?
Yay.
Meetings all day, and I just finished one where I open my mouth and suddenly I've got extra work.
Congratulations.
Well, that'll teach you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I never learn.
Yeah, we had a pediatrician when I was doing newborn nursery as a med student who anytime you had a question, he'd say, "That's an excellent question. Go look it up and tell us about it tomorrow." So no one ever asked questions. Oh, where did Lark go? Oh, Lark had to jet. All right, so Grover, here's what we're talking about. So we're talking about the idea of role play in the game and how role play affects your game, how your game is role play versus not role play. And you have a couple of commanders, and I know you've put a bit of thought into your commanders, who they are and what their motives are, especially as you're out in the black exploring. So tell us about how you see role playing in Elite for and what how you do it in the game.
Yeah. Well, I guess role play, Elite being Elite, as a massive online multiplayer where you can see nobody, I think the roleplay kind of becomes essential in a lot of ways for any kind of longevity, I guess, in the game. Because once you've completed kind of goals, the standard goals that are out there, it's roleplay that kind of gives you motivations or ideas to do other things. So yeah, my main commander is an explorer. Probably always has been an explorer. It's really exploring where I really got hooked into Elite. Not that I'm a great explorer or a scientific explorer. I'm a point in this direction and see what I find kind of commander, and that's cool. The fleet carriers kind of changed things for myself, my main commander, and being able to take them out with me exploring, and even to the point where I equipped a bar to contribute to that role play. Like the fleet carrier wasn't always just an empty vessel. I'm still a bit salty that they my flight deck crew don't kind of address me as your lord or sir or anything. But we can't have everything. So yeah, and it's been interesting because in some ways I've wanted my main character, who's been with me from the start, to get that triple elite, the original triple elite, whereas they're only elite in obviously exploration and trade, and been tempted to come back and just get them stuck into combat. But yeah, I guess it's the role play that's kind of kept me out there and said, no, actually they're an explorer. They don't have to be triple elite. So I'll get one of my alts to work on that little thing.
And how are your alts different?
Yeah, I got two alts, and one alt was just, for a long time, was just the fuel bowser on my carrier. That was, I converted an Xbox account when that was available. And now I've started using them a bit more as just as a little bit of a pirate and nuisance. They got no engineering, they got hardly any money, but just when I want someone who's not affiliated with anybody or any power or anything like that, just to go and do some stuff, they're the ones that get chosen. And my main alt, I guess, I've had in the bubble, and the other ones that really are able to contribute to our BGS mostly, and if we're doing any power play activities. But yeah, it's mostly BGS. So I feel like I can contribute when my main character's out in the black, and I don't have to bring them back all the time just because we've got something big on. So yeah, they're the ones that are present in the squadron. And I just decided to, thanks to Frontier for giving us the ability to change our commander names. So just to keep it so people know it's me, my commander, my main's Grover Kiwi, and my main alt is Grover Kiwi 2. Oh, Junior now.
Yeah.
Junior. Okay.
Junior. So I've got Senior and Junior.
Fantastic. All right, Oblivious, your turn.
You know, there's been a couple of times that I've tried to role play the bad guy in several different games, and I'm never successful with it. I'll start it and I'm just not comfortable with it. I make a bad guy for whatever reason. I can't go through with that. So my natural role play is it's always a role where I'm trying to better myself. I want to be a better pilot. I want to be a better leader. I want to be a better strategist. I don't know what that means psychologically, what that means, but yeah, I can't play the bad guy. I guess I bring the same moral code that I have in real life into my gaming. I can't get away from that. I don't think that's a bad thing, but it is kind of strange that I do think it's kind of strange that I haven't been able to get through a single game playing the bad guy in all the years that I've been gaming. But I don't enjoy that, so I don't do that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, and I was hoping because that's kind of where I was going to go next, even if you didn't bring it up. Because I think by and large, that in our squadron, we do our best to be relatively decent folks most of the time. We're not all perfect, but we do our best. And I think there are folks that are out there that in game like to see the world burn. And I, like I said, I get the honorable pirate. I have mad respect for the sort of the honorable pirate, but the folks that just like to, that their fun is kicking over sandcastles, is burning stuff to the ground, is as they're I'm talking about people who's like it's almost their exclusive gameplay as opposed to the folks who are like, well, you pissed me off, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you or whatever. But like, how do you think they can I mean, do you think they're like jerks in real life? Or because I don't know them personally, or is it that there's somebody who can compartmentalize, the character in the game from and yeah, some people have a certain amount of degree of character in the game as opposed to not so much that they're really, well, not really role playing. I just like building ships and blowing stuff up and flying around or whatever, which is fine. Or I like taking screenshots or whatever. Or even I am who I am in the game. I'm just me flying a spaceship. But what does this say, or how does somebody be that person? I mean, I think it's hard for us to ask that question unless we bring one of them on to interview them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, if there are volunteers out there, let us know in our Discord, and maybe we'll have you on as, the chaotic evil, interviewing the chaotic evil commander. Because I mean, I grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons. I haven't played since I got married. I mean, one of these days when my DM gets his shit together, maybe we can revive the campaign online. But we never really played evil characters. I mean, maybe we did some murder hoboing when we were 10, but that burned itself out very quickly. I mean, people want to be heroes. People want to be doing good things. People want to build. People want to create. People want to save the day. Call it what it is.
I don't think. Yeah.
So
I don't know. We've all been online on playing or engaged online, whether in game or in communities, for a long time, to see a lot of different attitudes and even just in real life, people. I guess people justify all kinds of things, and all kinds of behaviours. For reasons that you or I might not disagree with at any one time, and we justify things that we might do that we find we do because we find something stupid, like a bloody speed limit or or something like that. But so we're funny, we're complex. I think there's there is a type of player that does like to cause chaos and gets off at that, and it's usually a maturity thing. But some of the best engagements I've had in Elite have been with players that are role playing a pirate, and hearing Trax talk about him pirating the last few months just reminds me of when it's done right, and the player who's the pirate knows they're gonna outgun the other people. I think it creates a great opportunity for engaging play. But I guess it has to come both ways. People have to be prepared that that's a possibility, and be able to react to it. I dislike people that just want to make the world burn, but I dislike people that want a sterile environment and them to be left alone in an online game.
Yeah,
it does make you wonder, though, and you get an individual in game where they don't have real life consequences tied to their actions, and as a result, they're well, compared to everybody else, they're a bunch of real jerks. But they wouldn't do that in real life. Hopefully, they're not doing that in real life, because there are real world consequences railing them in. And you have to wonder, well, if they ever decide those consequences aren't that consequential, would they take that same attitude into real life? I don't know. That could be kind of spooky. Gaming, the gaming
I'm sure we
community,
know, all of us know at least one person like that, though.
or think we do. You know, really, all
If
we
we
know
don't,
about
it's
them
us.
is yeah, true. We think we know them. We know their persona, their in-game persona. We don't know what's behind it.
Yeah.
Typically, right? And part of our role play too is we want enemies, or well, I want enemies. I want some place to direct my angst at, where I feel like I'm the good guy going up against the bad guy. Well, somebody's got to play the bad guy role.
Yeah.
That's out there now. Why are they? What makes them bad? Well, maybe because they chose a different power, or something along those lines. That's a different type of role play. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a jerk to in real life to this guy that's playing Archer, but I can be a jerk to this guy who's playing Archer and blow his ship up from that gameplay standpoint. But the flip side of that, to go and just club seal noobs in the game that are just trying to get their feet wet. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand the mindset behind that, other than maybe these are people that in real life feel very, very constrained, and they want to act out but can't. And they get in this type of environment and realize, hey, there's nothing holding me back. So, do you ever when you were growing up, did you ever dream about being able to go into be a bull in a china shop, just go in and destroy stuff? I used to think about that when I was a kid. Never acted on it. I said, man, that'd be kind of fun. Why? I don't know. But maybe that's what we see out of some people. They feel very constrained to get in the game. There are no constraints, so I'm just going to act out all of my fantasies of being a bad person. And some of them, when they do that, it fires off the right endorphins in their brain, and they just keep doing it and over and over again. Versus me, I try to do that, and no, it doesn't stimulate me at all, and so I stick to my moral code.
Yeah. And I think the moral code is kind of what you're hitting on. That's sort of the difference that I'm trying to tease out on this, is that you can have an enemy with a moral code where it's, may on the battlefield, may the best team win. I mean, when we took Lambda and Andromedae, it was back in the day, it was one of these, we're all in, they're all in, or maybe no, it was HIP 4907, and it was we're all in, they're all in, and it was this, grand melee. There was a point in game where there was a misunderstanding between me and a member of the Helsinian Knights, where their leader sent one of his lieutenants to try to talk to us about relinquishing their native system back to them. Like their native system repeatedly fell back into our hands without any help from us. It was one of these really weird situations where over and over it's kept and so this guy came across heavy-handed, and his boss was like, hadn't been in game in forever. And I was just like, you know what? This guy's being a complete lunatic, so he can pound sand. And as he and I are like discussing this thing, meanwhile, behind the scenes, he's recruiting mercenaries, and he's recruiting these mercenaries and telling these mercenaries some sob story that he completely fabricated and made up. And as a consequence of this, I was for a brief moment the most wanted commander in the galaxy. And, I was like, when we were fighting this war that we were slowly losing in this system, um, which was fine. I was in space, and it was like this whole clear comms. Blooming Wind is on location. And then so they're like coming after me. And it was like, holy crap, I had 3 Corvettes just converge on me. And I got out by the skin of my teeth, but I was like, what the heck is going on? Anyway, it all got straightened out. And it was like, I'm the bad guy. And, and ultimately it was a misunderstanding. The whole thing was kind of a misunderstanding because the leader of that squadron was like, I should never have sent him to talk to you guys. And then there was this whole thing where there was like, many, many years before, there was a trade of one system for another or something. And so, and like the people who made that agreement hadn't played the game in forever on both sides. And so it was like this whole digging of the lore up to kind of solve the day. So that was like my brief moment as a villain. And it was kind of amusing because in my case, it was like, well, I really didn't do anything wrong other than say no to this guy. And neither he nor I knew the reason why, we should be, giving this system back to these guys yet again or whatever. But, I love a good challenge, and I'm very much a big proponent of, reward playing and open in this game as much as possible, because flying with other commanders, flying against other commanders is some of the most fun thing we do. And I get, and one seal clubbing I received was probably the most dramatically wonderful punctuation on a scavenger hunt. It was the Halloween scavenger hunt a couple years ago, and it was like getting creepier and creepier and creepier. And I get into this system, and I'm scanning the tourist beacon and getting the last message. And as soon as the last message comes in, I get blown up out of nowhere, and it was by this other ship. And then as soon as my ship, as soon as I respawn in someone's fleet carrier, I get this message. He's like, me killing you added something to the whole thing, didn't it? And I was like, you son of a bitch, it did. It absolutely did. I mean, it's like the one time I got Seal Club, because I'm in a paper thin, crate Phantom that, I was just using it so I could save my jump times and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, you didn't come prepared. Yeah, no, I didn't come prepared. But it was like the perfect exclamation point at the end of that scavenger hunt. But then other times it's just kind of silly, where it's like, okay, yeah, okay, kill me, great, whatever. But like the whole Minerva community goal, where it was like all these power players swirling around and killing each other and not killing each other, and some of the great pilots in this game, the great PvP pilots in this game were in our instance with us. I mean, I had an absolute freaking blast with that.
That was fun.
And we were all there with that intent of let the chips fall where it may. But there's sort of a difference between, I think, see you on the other side of this field versus let's go to Deciat and kill baby seals.
Right.
And I mean, I guess it makes me think the game is sort of an outlet. Like, did you ever see American Psycho?
No.
Okay, so
No.
American Psycho is this movie.
I know all
Christian
the memes.
Bale is in. Yeah, it's one with all the memes. Christian Bale's in it, and the whole thing is that like half the stuff is, spoiler alert, everybody. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, skip over the next few seconds. A lot of the bad stuff that he did was in his imagination, but he kind of didn't realize it. And the whole thing was about his dissatisfaction with this sort of corporate environment that he lives in, and that he's kind of stifled, where he has like all of these coworkers who are kind of like intellectually masturbating over, people's business cards. Look at this business card. This is a really great business card, or whatever. I mean, it's just this whole, his whole life is like ennui and emasculation in this, and it's so he, in his mind, he's imagined all the bad stuff that he did in the movie. And the way that Bale acted in the movie and the way that the movie was edited together by the director was absolutely, utterly brilliant, because he basically did 4 shots for each scene. And each of the 4 shots he did in a slightly different character. or something. And then the editor picked which one he wanted based on, okay, this is real life, this is fantasy, this is that, or what have you. And I think for some people, as you're saying, that this is sort of, they never do any of this in real life because they go to jail, or, someone would kill them or something for their behavior. But it's like this outlet of, I'm not, I'm angry at the world or whatever, and this is how I get my joy or something. I don't know. I mean, some of those people, I would love to kind of know to some degree, like what they're like in real life and how it's different than how they are in game. Because I think by and large, most of the people in our squadron are relatively what you see is what you get as far as, our personality versus, how we play the game. Even if Grover's not walking the earth like Cain in Kung Fu, but, he's an affable fellow, just like his characters seem to be and we're all a team. And that's the other thing when you're in a squadron is that generally you're all a team and you're all contributing to the same goals, or in our loose, screwy way, encourage each other as we're, working on stuff and sometimes chipping in with each other on things.
Right.
But yeah.
The podcast that Psychic did with Mel for the Win, where they interviewed the commanders.
Yes.
That was an interesting kind of look into different play styles and different commanders. And first time I'd come across someone who openly was ganking and changed my perspective of what ganking was to actually, no, this is a legitimate play style. But he had boundaries. I don't think he would go seal clubbing.
Right.
And Desiat, I think those people just need to get a life. But on the other side of it, is there an opportunity for a group to be the protectors of Desiat or something? It's so hard with the instancing, though.
Yeah.
I've been to Desiat many times and seen nobody. Part of that's the part of the world I live in, and part of that in the time I play. But part of that's just I'm not instancing with people.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was an interesting kind of process or insight.
Yeah, no, I remember that one.
I think we're also too free with the word gang.
Yeah,
because there is definitely a legitimate piracy gameplay. That's a legitimate loop in here, and a lot of times we'll conflate piracy with ganking. Yeah, for me, it's the line is crossed when that individual is not even giving you an opportunity for conversation. They just come out gun blazing on a ship that is entirely outmatched. Now, I don't mean that again in a situation where you're delivering cargo and you're being in a CG and you're being jumped, and they're not talking to you. I think they should talk to you about that and not just blast you out of the air. But part of it could be the piracy that's going on is they're trying to prevent the delivery of cargo. And I think the first time I ran into that, there was a particular CG that was going on that was in the Thargoid War, and what we were delivering was going to help us defeat the Thargoids, and the folks I was running into that was blowing me up without having any conversation was doing the role play of, we're protecting the Thargoids. We don't want to be at war with the Thargoids. So I'm coming at you for that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's great. And that's great. If there's obviously some motive behind it like that, where it's we are Team Fargod. I'm awesome, bring it. And also if FDev could create community goals that could fail again. The reason why we only have size 4 and size 1 corrosion resistant cargo racks is because the community goal they had, basically the tiers failed. So like it was going to be like as you unlock tiers, you were unlocking other sized
Right.
cargo racks. And so the size 2 and the size 3 never happened. So I mean I think that, obviously if if we were able to shut down this community goal before it hit tier 1, they're not going to release they're not going to release the operations. I mean, that's a little too high a stake for their shareholders. But certain things where it was like, I mean, was FDev prepared for the bubble to burn? Like, were they prepared for the Thargoid War to fail?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, they did move the
I hope they were.
goalposts. I mean, I hope they were too. And I mean, I would love to see some downsides to certain missions. I mean, we still do not have a shielded ECM. The shielded ECM was electronic countermeasures was the Winters prize for the Winters versus Hunt, not Archer, Archer's predecessor. Why am I blanking on his name? Anyway, so Archer's predecessor, Hudson. So there was like this Hudson versus Winters CG, and it was the long range fast scan kill warrant scanner versus a shielded ECM. So electronic countermeasures that increases your heat and increases your energy drain, versus this really cool module that you're going to use to make a lot of money bounty hunting. I mean, everyone knew who was going to win that. I was able to leverage a couple billion out of both of them by because you were running data, and the rewards were just stupid high, the cash rewards. So, but yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where it's like one of them is going to fail, and that module's never seen the light of day. And I think FDev really should consider having certain community goals with the storyline driven by whether it fails or succeeds. I mean, I love having some of these. You participate, you get a paint job, you get above 75%, you get 2 of something cool instead of 1 of something cool or whatever, because that keeps everybody happy. Because I mean, we do have the trophy people in our the participation trophy people among us, but they'll all complain. But I think that the folks that are the seal clubbers are the ones who drive people to solo from open. And I really wish that, I mean, I wish they'd have a change of heart, I mean, because they do piss in a lot of people's cornflakes. But, like the honorable ganker, so-called, the pirate, the whatever. I mean, I think they should make pirating perhaps a little easier. I mean, I've never tried it myself, so I don't know how hard it is to pull somebody. I don't know how hard it is to, do some of the things. But I think that, fun interactions. I mean, when I was doing the passenger rescue, I left the station and I got pursued by one of my favorite. I'm calling him a ganker, but one of my favorite gankers, and I got away. And he's like, "You son of a bitch! You're the first guy that got away all night." And I was like, "He's like, how'd you do it?" I was like, "Well, I don't know, because I kind of have this thing half engineered. It's not where I want it." He's like, "Well, I don't have my ship where I want it either. So, congratulations being the first one to slip by me." And I kind of told him the things that I did to try to make my ship as slippery as I could. And it was cool. I mean, like I said, those are the great interactions. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to harass you the rest of the week. Have fun. I got my little mark against you or whatever, even though I didn't kill you." So yeah, and I'll see him again at another community goal, and he'll kill me or he won't kill me, and we'll good game and hug it out, and love that guy. He's one of the good ones. So, more of that is great. But like I said, the SEAL Club, I just don't get it. And it's sad because it drives people out of open. And when you drive people out of open, they're going to do game altering things in solo, which is probably another discussion for another night. But it's like, okay, if you're doing BGS in solo, or you're doing power play in solo as opposed to open, it prevents the storm on Drong that is what makes these things a lot of fun. So I'm yapping. You guys start yapping.
Yep.
Nothing left.
Nothing left. All right. Well,
We're
we got
going
nothing
long.
left. We got the old sign off. So, do one of you guys want to do the sign off at the bottom of the show notes, the wrap up?
Hey, listeners, you did it. You've managed to waste an hour and 44 minutes listening to this podcast. And yes, we're questioning your life choices. But if you happen to like the podcast, please leave us a review on your favorite podcast player. JN Tracks promises to read all of those reviews and to respond to each and every one of you. You could also join our Discord. We've got a lot of stuff going on our Discord. It's the best place to talk to all of us, ask questions, engage in some of the activities we got going on in game. And you can find that at discord.io/loose screws. And don't forget to head on over to Loose Screwed. That's screwed.com if you, for some reason, would want to buy some merch advertising to the public that you listen to the Loose Screws out there. There again, we will question your life choices. But hey, thanks for listening. Thanks to Mr. Other Side of the World Grover for joining us tonight.
I'm questioning my life choices now. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. And Mr. Bloomingwind, thank you for joining us tonight.
Our pleasure.
And Lark Absence of Light for his contributions earlier. Good night, everyone. Say bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.